surrender, blazing out his shoes. We all come from a different place, the same color, different shades. It gets cold out here, everybody's blue. It gets cold out here, everybody's blue. One cries.
Jus Riffin. Tuesday night, 8:30 EST. Know where we be. Jus Riffin. Special guest, a tech and talk, a musicology. Jus Riffin. Coming to you live at the same time here every week. Jus Riffin. Jump in the room, let's chop it up. It really ain't that deep. Jus Riffin.
Okay, that is crazy. I'm trying to figure it out and do it all in one shot with the computer. So that was fun. All right, welcome to the Jus Riffin Show. Once again, this is another episode. Today we have AttaBotty on the show. Really excited to have him here with us tonight. He is one of the most intriguing artists that I've met this year and that I've listened to this year. He does a lot of audio with the visual, which is amazing. I love seeing it. Not a lot of people do it. They do their music videos and stuff, but AttaBotty is bringing a different aspect to the whole music thing for me. J6, how you feeling today? What's good with you, my brother?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm alive, man. Making music. We're like on live. Check this out. Like you're in an undisclosed location. I think somewhere overseas right now, and I'm talking to you live, video cam, and I'm here in I'm in Saskatchewan right now, and then we have AttaBotty. He's coming in from France, I think, and we're all live from all over the planet. And it's technology. I hear people bitch about like, oh man, Elon, Twitter Spaces, I got rugged and this, and it's funny. We all just kid around. It's just tongue in cheek. But when you think about it, like this shit is in outer space and we're all connected all across the world. It's amazing. Like, of course, there's going to be some shit that happens, technical difficulties. I love it. Let's do it.
That's right. So I'm excited today. AttaBotty's got some really cool stuff. We had Losi on the show not too long ago, and Losi and AttaBotty have been working together as well, making music. And so I think that technology is really good with what they're doing. I say technology, I think that was kind of weird, but what they're doing is really good. And the technology that they're using to enhance and to push forward their music is really, really good and different. I'm excited too to talk to him because I want to know what platforms he's using. There's one aspect that besides music that really I love music, period, and thank the Lord for music, thank God for music. Is that he uses there's animation that goes on, and I really want to get into his brain a little bit about Blender because Blender is really fascinating to me. I don't know about you, J6, but I think knowing how to use Blender is you got, I don't know, you get super smart and there's just so many different things that you got to move around. So I'm excited to actually talk to him about Blender. Even though, he's a big musician. So I'm excited to talk to him about that.
It's like a beautiful oblivion. It's like, trying to put my tender heart in a blender, I won't do
What's
that
good?
again.
Yes. What's good with you with music? I see that. Well, first of all, I wanted to ask you because I see that you're really involved. I know you're in the rec guy community, pardon me. And so OSEF put a thing out there, do 100 burpees till Christmas. And you actually have been doing it. I think you're on day 4.
Today was day 7.
Day 7. Okay. But I see you doing them. And it's just like, I get tired watching because, I know it's exhausting doing them, period. I could probably only maybe do 5, 10 if I'm lucky. So tell me first of all, why did you accept the challenge? Why did you decide, okay, I'm going to do this? And are you going to stick to it? Are you going to really ride it through?
Well,
to Christmas.
My plan is to, and it's like one of the cool things, once again, about this technology is like I would never have access to all these people all over the world doing all these different things. The rec guy community, all the guys, and they're really cool. I've interacted with some really creative and artistic and doers there, and so there's that level of it. And then I kind of like, I'm not, going to front. It's like I want to absorb. I want to be influenced. I want to be inspired by people that I feel are maybe doing a little better than I am at different aspects of life. Like we all have our strong points, but I think one way to get there is by pain. you know, you know? But anyway, in reality wise, I knew it would be very painful for me to do that, and it met my expectations. It hurts very bad, but I want to say this, and I don't want to comment on it too much because I'm only on day 7, so I don't want to be like a poser because tomorrow I might wuss out and say, "Fuck this shit, it's too hard." But
I don't think you're gonna do that.
I do want to say this though, it's changed me already, and this is how. It's really hard and it's really painful, and I like to exercise anything anyway. I've been exercising for years and fitness, but this is about 10 minutes of excruciating. For me, it is. For somebody in a different fitness level, it's whatever. But for me, it's 10 minutes. I get it done in like 10 minutes, but it's excruciatingly painful. Where I used to, let's say if I went for a jog, I cut my jogging out while I doing this. I would jog 3 miles in a very slow time. Like old ladies were passing me with their push, their hand roller things. Because I just kind of did it to get some wind in my face. But I cut that to have enough energy to do this and not to overexert myself. And it's 10 minutes of grueling pain. But I want to just talk about that real quickly, because what I noticed is I think that's something I needed to do in my life more, because that 10 minutes has made the rest of my day so much better, because it's not that 10 painful minutes I'm doing. So I really appreciate the rest of the day much more, because and this is the last I say about it. I know I'm rambling, but that 10 minutes fucking blows. It fucking sucks, man. I hate it. But it makes the rest of the day great, because
Yeah.
it sucks, I don't know.
I hear that,
So
but like you say, no pain, no gain, and also you have music. You added music, like a song that you've done, very funky as usual. So I'm excited that
Well,
you're
you picked
actually.
that up. I'm glad, because I didn't want to show my music, but I did want to show my music.
Yeah, it's
So
a good way.
what I figured is I wouldn't say, "Hey, listen to the track," but I put it in there. This way it's kind of anonymous. And if people are listening and they like it, they can like it. And I don't have to be like pushing myself. But my goal is to have every one of these, one of 100. Hopefully I make the 100. Every one of them have a different song that I have in there. So by the end of it, there'll be like 100 songs. And that'd be cool if I could kind of spread that around,
It's like
Um,
your workout videos, bro. You
it's
could
like
be like
James
the
Bond, except different.
yeah. You could be or Olivia Newton-John, man. Let's get
More like
physical.
Olivia,
Let's
you know,
go. Let's go.
more like
Let's
Richard
go.
Simmons, I think.
Yeah, you're probably right. Richard Simmons on you.
Oh, wait, remember that one
Um,
chick? Wait, I just want to say, remember that one chick? Remember the chick what was her name? Susan Powders. She was like a grifter. She's like, "With oxygen, we die." And
I don't
that
know.
was her fitness. That was her fitness mantra. It was pretty deep. But anyway,
I don't remember her, but
she was cool.
I'm just proud of you that you're doing it. Quite honestly, because when I saw Osef put that post up, I was like, no one's doing this. Who's doing this, man? And then out of anybody that I know, I wasn't thinking you were gonna be doing it, and I was so excited. I was like, J6 came on point and jumped in there, no pun intended, and fucking you're doing it, and that's amazing. I haven't seen anybody else do it. You're the only one doing it.
I think there's some people doing it, but I do want to say this. I
Well, at
think
least I haven't seen them.
not that I think like I think that I'm kind of an unlikely person to do this. So like maybe that'll inspire like some other spazzes out there to do some shit like this, because they're like, wow, that like spazzo can do this. Maybe I'll do it too. I don't know, but
My dog Minton says his arms and legs literally wouldn't keep going for 100. He's probably, we saw Minton on our stage last week, and so I think that he could probably do 3.
I think, you know what? I think the only thing I want to say about this, because it's not a fitness show, is I felt yesterday was getting easier. I thought I had a breakthrough, but then today was like the hardest day ever. So I don't know. Like I might like kind of like break during one of these things. Who knows? But in the meantime, it's an experiment. So why not?
Yeah, why not? And you know what? You're getting good exercise and your music is getting out there. And it's a good way. Like you say, you're not really shilling it. It's just like, yeah, you know what I mean? And I like that aspect. It's like how we say it has a lot of soul behind it, because you're not like just a soulless, pardon me, like just doing anything, just you know what I mean, just to kind of get it there. You actually not even talking about that the music that it's your music. I don't even think you put anything there like, hey, here's a link to my music and whatever. So I think
I
that's
just want to. I'm sorry, I
I
didn't
think
not
it's
cut you,
dope.
but I just want to add to that. I think that's the like to me, success as a music artist would be as if I didn't ever talk about it, but other people did. You
Yeah.
know, because I wanted to reach people and I want them to enjoy it and I wanted to move them. But if I have to keep shouting at them, "Hey, check out my music," then it's probably not the way to do it.
Yeah, that's how I say let the music speak for itself. And with that, I want to bring up our guest, AttaBotty. I'm gonna play a song from AttaBotty before we bring him on. This is a really, really cool song, and hope he doesn't get mad that we're playing it. But here we go. It's called Polar Reflections. Check it out.
Whimsical. It is sublime.
All right, everybody. Welcome, AttaBotty. Welcome to the stage. Welcome to Jus Riffin. That's actually a cool track. It said remix. So while we got you here, tell us a little bit about that track.
Oh yeah, that's one that is one of my yeah, near and dear tracks. It took me and my wife actually like 8 months to complete that with the animations and everything going along with it. It's a combination of like of orchestral like arrangement, so with like a full like I think about 40 instruments going on at the same time, and then I have that mixed in with when the break comes in a full electronic. It goes breaks into electronic music EDM. But yeah, it's as you see there's a big like demon head and all kinds of stuff that goes along with it. So there's a lot of like symbolism and different things that I'm kind of grabbing from different cultures along with my own experiences to kind of portray a message that affected me. It's originally from like a dream that I had, and the dream kind of like really shook me in many ways, but in a good way, and it caused me to look for a lot of different cultures that had maybe had that same realization about like it's like dualism, right? Of kind of like the yin and yang type of thing. But so many cultures have their own version of it, and that's kind of like a combination of all of those put together in one. And yeah, that was just like a 30-second snippet. I have the whole thing finally
Very
released on
quick.
YouTube. Yeah,
Awesome.
for the longest time, I kind of just kept it for Web3 only, but recently released it on YouTube, and it's part of a four-track EP that I'm going to be releasing slowly as I get the rest of the animations done with my wife. Um, but it's all kind of to link together like experiences that kind of lifted me out of a lot of darker times in my life and into the position and the viewpoint that I have now, which I feel like is more of like a growth mindset, very positive, trying to keep my mental health and my physical health and all these things because it's very important for me, especially to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Speaking of well, mental health is a huge thing. We know in Web3 and just before even Web3, obviously, mental health has been a huge thing, amongst people. Like we see a lot of crazy stuff in this world, and a lot of people do need help. A lot of people are mentally sick, and they do need
Mhm.
help. But we know that you're also ill with lupus, and that's like a very irreversible situation, you know, like you can, I don't know what you do. I don't want to really go too deep into that with you to, you know,
Oh no.
that's not, yeah. But I know that, that you are dealing with that. When you're, what does the music help you? Do you, I mean, I don't know how you feel inside, like what that feeling is having lupus. I'm not, you know, I don't know, but do you feel any different when you are doing music or when you're being creative, like your mind takes you to a different place? Does that affect you in that way where you feel on that high?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Music has been one of the biggest like saving graces that kept me kind of sane throughout the process of one just even being diagnosed with what I had. Lupus is a weird pain. It feel at least my version of lupus because lupus can take so many different forms, and the version that I have really attacks my joints, and it's kind of weird because I have I'm a male, and I'm younger too, and so because of that, all the doctors never even thought to look for lupus because lupus is like predominantly found in women. And so, you know, when I was talking about a lot of these things, they were going down all kinds of different roads, but it's basically the burning electrical pain that I have hot spots. There's one on my left shoulder that kind of goes down here, and sometimes it just gets so bad that I have to just be bedridden. And it's basically your own immune system attacking itself because it's overactive. And so I'll get these things called flare ups during, even when it's like allergy season, because you know the histamine that's in your body, it's like you're producing more of it, and because of that, the antibodies kind of go over whack. So I'll break out in rashes on my body, and some people get it really bad on their face. Thankfully, I only things I get on my face are very minimal, but I do get nasty patches on my body still. Um, and then you know
Oh,
there's like an ebb and flow to it. You know, sometimes you're doing good and sometimes you're not. It's usually
yeah, I
oh,
think we lost you a little bit, the connection wise, but
oh okay.
you're back. But okay, but that's great, you know, to hear
Hmm.
that. Not that you get the patches and you get the pain is, you know, just mind boggling, and it's just, you know, I feel for you, man. Like, you know, I think, you know, this is you. You're strong. You know what I mean? Getting through all that, it's incredible to have that, and then to a lot of people would just give up and, like you said, bedridden, you know, but not to continue on. And I think it's great that you do continue with the music. The music is really important. And I
Right.
think that, you know, you have that, and you cannot let that go. There was another producer, Jay Dilla, one of the most famous to me, like, you know, in the hip hop community, passed away from lupus many years ago. And he's such a highly, he's up there as far as like producers go, not just in hip hop. Now, he was a big part of hip hop, like Slum Village was his group, and um, produced for Tribe Called Quest, The Roots, Busta Rhymes, Erica Badu, Common, you name it. He was amazing. And so this guy is so highly regarded that even after his passing, every February it's Dilla month all around the world. So there's all these events that are going on different dates, you know, and simultaneously the same dates. Could be something going on in Detroit and the same thing is going on in
It's
Copenhagen,
awesome.
right? Or it's going on in Berlin or somewhere, you know, Austria. But so at any rate, it's he's the only person that I knew that had that as well as you, and you guys both produce, you guys both do music,
Hmm.
and yeah, and that was keeping him rocking and rolling too until his passing happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you familiar with the name Jay Dilla?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, okay, I was gonna say, if
Yeah.
not, due to knowledge, bro, due to knowledge. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you, let's get back to music real quick here. How did you formulate your style? How did you realize, okay, this is the lane I'm going to go down
Hmm.
with music wise? I feel I'm the most consistent here with this. When did you realize that, and how did that come about for you?
Oh, it came about kind of as I was trying to find my sound. Um, I have so many different interests. I started off wanting to be a film composer, and so I more or
Okay.
less kind of dove into bunch of different instruments to learn how to compose for them. But I also had a real strong liking for EDM and electronic music. And so when I was diving more like into music as a professional career, I kind of went more into like service or like service type work where I would either do like mixing or I would do, producing tracks for other people, custom music. And then it kind of leaned into like for video games and, commercials. So it was always kind of down that route. Um, and then as I wanted to develop my artistry more and become, actually, because I had many things that I wanted to say, especially through my struggles and how I wound up on the other side. And also, I felt sonically I had a lot of things that I wanted to do that I just weren't really useful in what I was doing. Like, you're not trying to win a sound design award for like an animation track or or like a commercial or something like that. So I had sonically things that I had wanted to say, and also messages artistically that I wanted to say. And so going into that and developing that sound, I had that struggle of what is really going to carry the message that I really want to say with all the things that I'm doing. And it was kind of this idea of that, I think it was Pharrell, yeah, that had said it, and I loved it how he put it. But he says, "I'm all the time on the hunt for sounds. That I'm constantly. It could be elevator music, it could be just random things, anywhere, and something will. If it'll catch me, I make sure I make a note of it. I make sure I make a note of how it made me feel, and if I can, write that song down so I can go back later, so I
Can plagiarize it and get sued. No, I'm just kidding. I was just making reference to the "Got to Give It Up" trial case, which I think was baloney anyway. He shouldn't have got sued. I just always take a joke off when I can, but I'm sorry.
Oh, we lost the sound. I think your mic got muted at a body. There we go. No, you had it. Oh, click it back.
How about now?
There you go. Yep.
Okay,
Now
great. Sorry about
now
that.
you're good. It's all good.
So yeah, no, to that extent though, yeah, just have this kind of mental library of the different sounds that I had really wanted to build up. And what I just found is that I wanted to keep it simple. One of the biggest influences that I ever had was Ratatat, the guitarist duo. I mean, they're just amazing. And I always found it so amazing what they could do with like, it was very simple. A lot of times they would have like a single drum track and then they would just do these amazing effects with the guitar and incredible performances. So I loved that sound, but I also loved like lo-fi and hip hop and things of that nature, but also like orchestral music. And it was like, okay, how do you combine all those things? And it really came through to me that it's like, well, one, I don't have to combine them all at the same time, but also, especially as I build like my album and my different, like my sonic journey that I'm building with this latest EP, especially because it's not just a single. Everything, this one thing.
We keep losing you every once in a while at a body. We keep losing your audio.
How about now?
There,
Can you hear me?
yeah, there
I'm
we
gonna
go.
get really close and see if that
Yeah,
works.
yeah. Well, I'm not sure where we lost you at. You were talking about building your sound and then you kind of stopped.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, yeah.
well, the
Well,
audio stopped.
yeah, so I'm building my sound, and because I can choose from multiple genres that I can make from, but I like to stick to those three: orchestral, lo-fi, and EDM. But I've realized that I don't have to make each song with all three of those things all the time. That throughout my album, that I can, have different dishes to serve the different messages. So for this first track, I wanted it to be a kind of a thing to grab the audience's attention to pull them into a deeper state. So in here, I'm really utilizing a lot of orchestral techniques to draw in the audience in a cinematic way. And then once the break comes in, I'm using a lot more of EDM type features where you actually have a break. You have breaks in orchestral music, but it's not like how it is in electronic. And so once it goes in that way, it's more or less meant to be a grand thing that it makes you aware of. And so, if when I go to the next track, which I'm planning on releasing once the animation is done, it's a lot more calmer track, diving more into like lo-fi, because those contemplations that I had while for that track are a lot more subtle and were based on a lot of like walking meditations that I had during different parts, I would say, towards my recovery.
Excellent, man. I'm a huge fan of lo-fi, huge fan of hip hop. I've been involved in the culture since since 1979 when I heard my first, um, song, which was Rapper's Delight. And then from that point on, I just grew up listening to hip hop. I didn't really listen to much else until I was about maybe 13, then got into like punk and rock, like Iron Maiden, Van Halen, due to my stepbrother was listening to this stuff. But I always had that hip hop culture in my blood. Um, and I really love lo-fi. Now, back in the day, before there was a term lo-fi, we used to call it down tempo because that's what it is, down tempo. So break down for me what your definition is of lo-fi, and do you remember the term down tempo?
Yeah, well, yeah, I would say for me, down tempo makes a lot of sense. I think I've definitely heard the term, but it's just for me, lo-fi. Once I heard that, it kind of just took over to me the definition of how I felt, what I wanted to shoot for, because like. Well, lo-fi has a meaning. It's low fidelity. It's the opposite of hi-fi, right? And that today, especially with what you could do and record and how perfect the audio is it's almost too perfect. And we've found that
Right.
that those warmer sounds that we would get from the tape, even though it was like shaving off a little bit from the high, and you can physically do all the lows that we can capture now, there's something about the way it presents itself to your ears, and it's like either it could be nostalgia or there may be a actual psychology to the way the sound, having that, shaving that harshness off, and making it warmer if it actually has an effect. But for me, I know it has a deep effect. For me, the sound of even a record player, just the air in itself is something that immediately signifies like a calmness inside of me. So it's quite funny because my mother, she's a vocalist and she's been singing for a while, so she has all the old gear taped to CD, has the first
Wow.
giant CD discs, and but it's funny to her because I constantly go back to her old gear and ask her, "Do you have any this or that?"
That's
because
awesome.
I like to put it back because there's those slight things in the analog gear that are you can't replicate. Every single one is completely unique. And so it like to me has this sense of this unique story and a soul that you kind of intertwine into the sounds that you have. And so it's this purposeful way to basically lower the quality of everything, but on purpose so that you can have that nostalgia and the warmth that you got from tape and analog sound, but mixed in with the new era of like sampling and hip hop. So it's a to me, lo-fi is a pretty incredible genre because it covers quite a lot of things and there's a lot to talk about it about. Ugh, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was go ahead, Hef, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, absolutely. I know what he's saying.
Well, I was just gonna say, with the like, I noticed, when I was checking out some of your stuff that not only do you work in the DAW and in your recording software, and lo-fi as far as maybe dumbing down the bit rate and stuff like that, but you also actually play like real instruments, which I
Yeah.
think is cool too, because that just by nature pushes some real air out there. I think I saw you playing like a native flute. And I
Yeah.
also I saw a bass guitar somewhere, and I think I saw, we see keyboards right in front of us right now, but of course, a lot of times maybe you're triggering some VSTs with that. But
Yeah.
but so you're a instrumentalist as well, which is pretty
Hmm.
cool, you know.
Yeah. No,
Me-
I sorry, what were you saying?
no, and I was gonna say, and then so plus, and are you a vocalist as well? Like you,
Yeah.
Like your mom.
Yes,
okay.
that's one of the things that I haven't really showcased much. It's because me as an artist, I haven't really found the lyrics to kind of deliver what I've been wanting to say so far. It's been through poetry and through like sonically, as well as the visual animations that go along with everything. But yes, I do sing as well. It's I actually yodel. I do a bunch of different like
Wait, you yodel? You
world.
got to yodel. You got to yodel real quick
Really?
because I
Okay.
think it's the coolest thing in the world, yodeling. So come on, bro.
Let's see.
AttaBotty's yodeling on Just
Let me
Riffin.
put some reverb
Look,
on.
okay, real
Can you
quick.
hear the
Hey,
reverb?
real quick. We had Corey Van Loo, who's an artist on our show. He played the Jew harp, okay? And now we
Okay.
got AttaBotty on the Just Riffin show about the yodel for everybody. Let's go.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Okay.
Awesome, dude.
Fucking
That's- what? Okay. How did you figure out that you can do it? What?
It's
What
a
were
fun
you?
trick with
What?
me and my mom.
That's awesome, dude. And your mom is a yodelist too?
Yeah, she was trying to figure it out, and I just was almost like making fun of her. But she was like, "You actually do that pretty good," and I was like, "Really?" And I just actually gave it a real try, and yeah, it's just like a fun thing.
That's
You know,
cool as hell, dude.
it actually sounded super legit. I've heard,
Yeah.
we hear people like messing around doing that kind of stuff all the time, but it sounded legit.
Oh,
And
thank you.
sometimes people just have a natural I don't know if the word, because but they have a natural ability. They have to still work at it, but they have a natural ability to do certain things, which leads me to your visual aspect, because you're doing the music stuff, and it's real tight. It's great stuff. And I was looking at your animations too. I have this one fired up that I was checking out before the show. It's called Polar Reflections. And I'm just looking at, like, all the animations of like the wisping, and then the deer, and it, like, that shit's pretty crazy. Like, and that's not 3D. That's not Blender stuff. That's
Oh yeah.
like, that is Blender.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, because it looks, it's just the look of it. It's really different. Like, a lot of times if I see stuff in Blender, not that it all looks the same. But Blender, I guess you could do whatever you want to do with it depending on the artist. It's a powerful tool. But it's very this hey, Hef, you know what? Maybe I can do this real quick. Let me try to do this. If let's see
Yeah,
if I
if you could you could tell me the link and because I have it
share the
already up,
screen, and then
or
if
you
I
can
go here, and then
you
I
can
go to
share
here,
it.
it is Polar Reflections. Boom.
Yeah. So Polar Reflections was the song I played to bring on AttaBotty. That was the remix version. So now we're gonna watch the video. Let me add it to the stage, and then you might have to start it over and then turn your volume up. Yeah.
Oh, do I have to turn my volume up or something? Or
Probably, yeah.
actually, yeah, and I want to start that from the beginning, because it in the beginning it's some really cool animation. Like, it's here we go. Hold on. Let me get this
Okay.
popping back. Sorry, my bad. And then there we go. There we go. Can you hear it?
Yep.
Look at that, dude.
Where all is one, you will only find reflections.
So I'm gonna
Hey,
rewind that again. I gotta rewind.
All right. Hey, real quick before you start, stop it for a second. Stop it.
Gotcha.
Okay, make your screen big. Like, hit that little.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Like
all
that.
right, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Okay,
Okay.
now we're good. And introduce it. Introduce it.
Ladies and motherfucking gentlemen, the motherfucking Polar motherfucking Reflections. No, but seriously though, check out this deer. The animation on this deer, it's crazy. Okay, all of it. Look at
Where all is one, you will only find reflections. Weaved by the way, they intertwine the dual. Paradoxical harmony, an eternal dance. On the axis mundi they spin. On the edge of life's wheel, they play. Terrifying, they are beautiful. Whimsical, they are sublime. To be misunderstood is the mirage of the facets. What they reveal, many dare not behold. The abyss of low and high, the place where dreams are born. Terrifying, they are beautiful. Whimsical, they are sublime. In accord with oppositions, one finds friends in all places. Objection blinds revelation, confusion being its child. Snagged not by distraction, black is but a shade of white. Terrifying, it is beautiful. Whimsical, it is sublime. To be misunderstood is the mirage of the facets. What they reveal, many dare not behold. The abyss of low and high, the place where dreams are born. Terrifying, they are beautiful. Whimsical, they are sublime.
Yo, yo, I just got to know before anybody says anything else. How long did it take you to do all this? Because it's crazy.
Thank you.
That's what I
Thank
gotta-
you. I really appreciate that.
Really amazing, by the way. That's really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Like-
Yeah.
Did you hear my question?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry, my
It
bad. I didn't know
took
if you
us-
heard it.
Oh, no, you're good.
7
it
years?
took me
12 years?
it was
That's
8
like-
months.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
8 months, he said.
It felt
Wow.
like it. Yeah. No,
That's
it was
awesome.
yeah, it was a collaboration between me and my wife. She was big time. The deer that you saw, that was all her. She does the 2D animation, and then I I do like the 3D and then the other types of animation as well. And so we mix the two together to create that whole, like especially the portal and the Ouroboros. And so, yeah, 8 months for the visuals and the music to get done. Yeah.
So cool. It makes me think, when I first got into the space, I started discovering like, Beeple and stuff like that. And then I dove a little into this thing and I noticed how even before he was doing Beeple every day, like for years, he was doing like video stuff and just throwing it up on his site for like anybody to use. And I guess DJs could use this for their part of their visuals for their live set. And it's just really cool stuff.
Mhm.
And the stuff I just saw here, like the polar reflection, I was just thinking to myself, I could see like you and your wife behind like all the DJ gear, and then all that animation like super big, and the kids all out front, and like it's pretty powerful. I could see that in a live environment being really really huge, like epic.
Yeah,
Oh,
great.
that's
It's
so
really
awesome to
great.
hear.
The yin and the yang, when the daytime was on the top and then in the water reflection was the night. And I saw you flip it and I saw the devil in there, the demon in there, you want to call it the demon, with the mouth and coming through in the portal, and
Hmm.
the twisted roots on the tree, or the bottom of the tree. And yeah, just and the music going along with it, man. Just really the
Thank
intricacies.
you.
Yeah, again, no pun intended, because I know it's intricate, but just an amazing audio visual. This is really cool. J6, thank you, man, for bringing that up, because I think a lot of people needed to see that. And a lot of times I think in life, people they sleep a lot, right? They sleep a lot
Mm.
on art. They sleep a lot on music until they actually see it. So thank you. I want to say thank you to AttaBotty, first of all, for doing that. And thank you to is your wife, what's her nickname?
Denise.
Denise. Okay.
Hmm.
So thank you to Denise. And thank you, Julius. Thank you, J6, aka Cookie Rabinowitz, for bringing it up, dude. It's those big glasses that were able to see it all and really bring it up, dude. I'm
Well,
jealous of your glasses, by the way.
I'm actually looking for a new pair, but we'll talk about that later. But anyway, the animation stuff, it always intrigues me because I'm not really an illustrator myself, but I've messed around with animating, and
Hmm.
I know I'm familiar with the amount of time it takes to do like 10 seconds of animation.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it just like, so when I see something that I almost was going to say intricate again, but I didn't. I'm not going to overuse it. But when I saw that, and I just saw like the way that animation is, it's just it flows so like
It
it's
adds so much. It just adds
it's
so much
authentic.
to,
Like the
yeah.
movement, the motion in it is very authentic. Now, don't get me wrong. Just like lo-fi hip hop, I love lo-fi animation too. Like stuff that's kind
Hmm.
of like that stuff has its place too, and so I dig it all. But uh this stuff that we just watched is next level as far as that style goes. It's like,
Oh,
I
thank
don't
you.
know, like I could have been watching Bambi right there when it came
Oh
on, and I'm
no,
listening to,
thank you so much.
and then I'm listening to this music, and like you were saying, Hefto, it's very it it's just put together very well. The two
Yeah.
pieces, the audio and the visual, are just so synchronized, and it's just a beautiful piece. And I could see that being like, to me, that's a valid, like, collectible piece. Sometimes stuff, we put it out there, and I still think it's cool, even when it's not, to utilize the blockchain, just to experiment with it in any format,
Hmm.
whatever you're doing artistically. I think it's cool, and I'm not shitting on anybody that uses it. But I think this thing we just saw, like, that's like
Next level. It was
collectible. It's a
next level.
collectible one of one
Thank you.
piece.
Yeah.
It's cool. Is that what it
Yeah.
is? It's one of one.
Yeah, it's a one of one. Yeah.
It should be. Yeah, I think it should be. That's really cool. Okay,
Thank you.
I'll stop now. But it's
Yeah.
amazing.
8 months out
No.
of body, 8 months for
Yeah.
you and Denise to create this masterpiece.
Oh,
And
thank you.
take us into the steps. I know you were talking about like the 2D with the 3D, but
Hmm.
once you like get into the program to start doing the animation, the music is there, or is the animation first and you add the music, or the music comes, or the music is already done, then you add to the music. And then walk us through Blender and all the other things that you use to actually make it fly.
For sure. Oh, thank you. That's a great question. I'm so glad you asked. For this project, it was it was a not only a difficult animation to put together, but the music itself was pretty difficult as well. And so for this one, usually we do it the other way around, where I make the music first, and then we use the music to line up the animation with, and it just makes more sense. You know, you have like different sound cues that you can even put the animations to. But for this, the music wasn't done. It was like the music was actually like one of the last things done. And because there were, like I said,
Wow.
the orchestra and the EDM, mixing those two together just took that in itself was like 3 months to put that together. And I was like kind of putting that together as we were doing the animation. But the animation was also a huge thing too. So it was more or less like a lot of planning that we had to make sure that we kept to, because if we messed up, it would be just so much time wasted. There was once, I mean, even the renders for the animation uh, was like our largest render was 1,440 frames, which took about 3 days to render. And so
So
if there
crazy.
was a mess up, yeah, in the render, it would be another 3 days before we would even get that
Oh my gosh.
animation. Yeah,
So
so
incredible.
a lot of careful planning. So it was kind of like we built the two in parallel with each other. And once the main animation was done, I had more, like most of the song already built up. And so what I had to do at that point, because we had a lot of visuals to work with, visual assets, but they weren't lined up with the music. So what I had to do is then go into DaVinci afterwards and then line up the visuals to coincide with the music, so it would be on beat and different things like that. And it was a pretty long process. The For the animation itself, you saw that there's 2D elements, but there's also 3D. So we had to split that up into three different projects. One project was the 2D project, and once that was done, we grabbed the video from that and put it into the 3D project to create like a portal type masking effect. And then from that project, we had to render that out and then put that into um, the final DaVinci project. And so, um, yeah, it was like those three different layers that stacked up on top of each other. And
So, yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry. I think
oh
we
no,
have
you're
like a
good.
slight delay, a slight delay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, finish saying what you were saying.
Oh no, it was just that we had like that, the mixing it between the 2D and then figuring out how we were going to transport that to the 3D, and then figuring out how we were going to line that up with the music. End up being, oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry, I forgot to put this, say this thing. So why it makes it three projects is because if you see in the inside, there's a flipped upside down world, and so we had to make one project where it was daylight, and then we made another project where we flipped it and it was all nighttime. And so those are two
Right.
different projects, but they're all symmetrically perfect with each other. So that way we
So
could
they
flip them,
aligned. Yeah.
align perfectly. Yeah. And so then we had to import that into the 3D project, is where you get that portal look. And so that's all Blender. And then, like I said,
Blender's
then
incredible. I love Blender.
right.
I tried it and I messed around and I'm like, when the people making the pottery and it's on the
Mhm.
clay on a spindle thing.
Yeah.
Well, every time I would use Blender, it would be me mushing everything, and, and I'm like, I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
do this. Yeah, I'm done.
Oh.
So much respect, because I know Blender is so very difficult to
Mhm.
use, to get to know and to build in it. It's just on another
Mhm.
level, and the rendering time is another, like, yeah,
Right.
3-4 days, sometimes longer, depending on what the project is and and that's for a smidget really of time in the video, right? That takes
Mhm.
3 days.
Right.
That's just
Right.
incredible to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Are you?
Yeah.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to ask, are you using this as well in all of the projects that you're doing, using these Blender and the 2D and 3D? Are you using it for all of the things that you're doing, or is it just?
Pretty
Yes,
much.
you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Because
is what
like
gives you the edge.
Oh, thank you. It's well, it's becomes quite addicting once you start playing with 2D elements inside of the 3D. They make like a really nice contrast and texture, and so we're constantly trying to figure out ways where we can put the 2D along with any kind of 3D scene.
It's
Very
great.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank you.
what you were making this, the way you were explaining it to me kind of seemed like, correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm right, elaborate on it, or you already did elaborate on it, but it just, I think it's interesting. It's an interesting point. Like, it's almost like the video ended up being like a remix because you did the video first, then you did the audio, but then, you wanted to get all the drops and the hits. So then you took that video and then you kind of maybe remixed it a little to fit the audio. Is that how it worked?
Yes,
Pretty
exactly. Yeah.
cool. Like I thought I think that's really neat. And it
Thank you.
like from uh consuming it was very natural. Like, it doesn't look like anything was forced or you kind of had to make stuff work because it
Oh,
seems
thank
like
you.
not intuitive. When you were explaining, I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's very kind of an unintuitive way to work. Like you said, for this particular instance, you already had the video and the audio wasn't done yet, but you guys,
Hmm.
made a new, you just thought of it differently, and it worked great, and
Right.
it's probably special because of that.
Oh,
So
thank
I don't
you.
know, pretty cool.
No, I really appreciate that. It's yeah, it was one of those things that once we had put it all together, it was like, we really wanted to just tell the story as best that we could, and that's where we just started really being creative of what we could do with all the visual assets that we had been building for those 8 months. And so it's just really great to hear you say that it was like natural and hopefully organic. That because we felt like that too. That once everything was put together, and we saw the whole picture for everything is like we're very very happy with how it came out. Because there was for a second, we had just a lot of assets, visual assets, and then we had the audio, and it's like, both of them. We were worried that they standed by themselves. We felt like pretty strongly, but that like combining the two, we didn't want to take away from one or the other, and so it was really important, and we put a lot of attention into trying to make sure that they highlighted each other and amplified each other as much as possible. And just one thing, just to really quick, just that I was really happy to hear you say Cookie, was the the fact that you could see it being live, and I was that's like kind of my next phase is to bring out these visuals into a live performance setting. I want to get into planetariums, and also I'm going to be having a performance in Miami, and we're setting up the venue so that has a lot of visual aspects in it. And so I really want to bring this whole animation and the visuals that go along with the music to life in a live performance setting, because
I'm
Awesome.
we'll be
excited for you,
performing a lot
dude.
of these.
That's
Hey,
Yeah,
super.
thank you.
I,
I'm
wa-
excited for real.
I wanted to know if you looked into as far as presentation wise, like because I've been kind of interested in looking in this world myself as far as for bringing some of these elements out to a live performance.
Hmm.
And I've seen, and I don't know how well they work, but some of these like fan hologram type of machines. Have you ever thought?
Right.
Have you
Yeah.
ever like?
Oh.
Because I think that's cool, like a three-dimensional thing. And then also, it's funny. So many people are at the concerts with their phone up, and then people get pissed off. Like I remember it was a big thing a few years ago. Like Natalie Merchant, like scolded her fans and said, "Put down your phones." But I was thinking, like, what if we just gave the people doing that with their phones a different experience? Like what if all of a sudden they're looking through their phone and videotaping it to their shitty audio on their phone, like everybody hates they do it, but now all of a sudden in that phone they see your three-dimensional art pieces, whereas
Mm.
maybe when you're live and people
Like
aren't
some
on the
AR.
yeah, like, and then but they would see them, like you would have it on a screen or somewhere behind you projected, right? But
Hmm.
then people on their phones, they could see these 3D things. I don't know, but there's so much cool stuff you could do with this tech. And especially when you were like, and the reason why I'm really thinking of this with what you're building and creating is because you're already mixing 3D and 2D elements in the digital world, and then you can mix those
Yeah.
3D and 2D elements in the actual world too. It's, I don't know. I'm just
Oh
riffing.
yeah.
Just
Oh
riffing.
no. No, oh my gosh, that's so cool. One of the biggest things that I'm also, me and the whole team, we're really, it's Z Talent and the Zao, we're really trying to put AR everywhere in the experience. And so we're going to have merch that has AR, but we're also going to have little Easter eggs all around with featured artists that we have, but also things that we're going to
Very
be
cool.
putting all around the venue that will be AR activated, and wanted to maybe do something with a live performance aspect to it too. So no, just
I
love
think
everything you're
that's
saying.
great,
It's just
dude.
really great.
Very cool.
I
Oh,
think
thank
that's
you.
great too.
I wanted to ask you,
Right.
since you're hip to all this stuff, and I just want a different perspective on it. When we're talking about the AR stuff. Now, triggering that stuff with, like, I guess, like either like a link or a QR code or whatever. But have you ever messed with, and if you did or if you didn't, do you have any thoughts or opinions on people using the near field communication, the NFC stuff? Like,
Right.
like, have you messed or thought about that, or do you like it or not like it? I'm just looking for.
That's actually one of the new technologies I'm trying to become more aware of, because so far what I've been using has been like the ones where it's triggered through the image. But recently we're trying to get into the merch, and the merch actually has an NFC tag inside of it that will trigger the AR. So I'm right about to get my hands on some of that tech to, get a better idea of it. But I'm really excited about it. So far I haven't had a chance to, but it's coming.
Cool. Once you check it out, I'd love to hear your
Oh
opinion if you
yeah,
come back on the show, or if we, have a conversation or whatever. Because I've been
For
interested in that
sure.
myself, and I don't want to. What's the word? When you say it, I'm not. I actually like the technology, but what I've found so far is I haven't found a really consistent way with activating it. If Line Trash is here, and he'll probably laugh at me, because when we were at Basel last year, I was trying to hit the NFC tag, and he's like, no, like this, and I'm like trying to I'm like, but anyway, so there, it might just be me, and I'm aware of that, but I, at the same time, I really love the idea of tapping something and
mm-hmm.
opening up something
Right.
in a different world, something
Oh, it's so
exclusive.
natural. Right.
Yeah,
And
and
I
especially in our world here, that's in Web3 rather. Didn't mean to cut you off there, Body. I know
no.
we're just on a slight delay here. That you know, people. This to me, this is something that is different in our different in the sense of Web3 and blockchain and music with the visual, but bringing this to our world here, and then transferring that into your stage performances is just, to me, on another level. There's one, a lot of, like, music groups. There's one that really just stands out to me that mixes the audio live with the visual, is Tool. And
Mm.
the Maynard, right, is the lead singer is a super duper smart guy, and they really, really kind of like what you're doing is on that level.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
on that level up here, and I think that's really cool with the music that you're doing, and you're doing your own animation, bringing that into it being a live performance, along with the augmented reality, along with the NFC chips, all of that cool stuff. I think you're onto something bigger than what we're talking about right here. In the sense of what I can see,
Mm.
envision, I see you there. I see you
Oh,
there.
well,
Yeah.
thank you so
On that
much.
subject, I'm wondering, if you thought about, if you have specific, or if it's still kind of like putting it together, like what it would look like would you have a band up there, instrumentation, or would you be DJing a set like a DJ? Like, I picture it like a
Yeah.
DJ set, but that maybe
Right.
you playing, maybe like DJing it a little bit, but then you all of a sudden you pick up one instrument at one point, maybe play the Indian, I don't know, but do you have any
Yeah.
ideas of how you're gonna
100%.
perform it?
No,
And
I
will
love that.
and will it? I want to add to that too. Will it blend in? Will it intertwine from song to song? Like your animation, if you were to pick up a different instrument, will the animation reflect what you're doing live? Yeah.
Yeah. So As far as reflecting what I'm doing live, I might have something like that put into it. Me and Nisi were figuring out how she can do some live visuals along with the pre-made set that visuals that we would put in there in the animations.
Yeah.
But yes, we want everything to be in sync. And for me to be playing live, a couple of different things that would be one, visually appealing to see that being played in front of you, and also things that just are impactful inside the music. When I was a kid, I was in band in many different ways. I was the drum captain. But there's a section called the pit in the front of the marching band where there's like all these different instruments, and I was the captain of that one as well. And so what we would do is run between a bunch of different instruments for performance. And so I've kind of designed my set to be kind of like that, where it's not like I'm running back and forth, but that I'm going to be switching between guitar to the what I just got this new piece right here. It's a drum pad so that I can trigger a lot of cool sounds, bass synths, so that instead of just seeing me press play or even doing on the DJ deck, because I'm going to have that as well, but you'll physically see me play the bass notes and stuff like that, which
That's
really
very
excited
cool.
about.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you.
Speaking of playing and all these things, I see you. Do you want to give us like a little 1-2, little play
Oh,
of
for
something
sure.
live?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Heck yeah.
Whatever, introduce it, like tell people what it is if it's something, or if you're just going to improvise, that's cool too.
Okay.
Yeah, let everybody know what it is. And so we got everybody, we got AttaBotty here live on stage with us at Jus Riffin. He's going to get his stuff set up real fast here and play something for everybody live.
Alrighty. Well,
And what is
awesome.
that?
So this is a Native American style flute. There's a couple different versions of them, but this is the North American version of this. This one right here was made by a flute maker named John Longrider. And yeah, just really enjoy his flutes. I have a couple of them. And this is one of my favorites. It's tuned in 432 hertz in F minor. And
Interesting.
just
Now,
has
how
a
do they
gr-
tune that? How do you tune
so
that? Because it's
he
wood, right?
right, yeah. So he hollows this out and puts it in. Well, really, he puts two sides together and hollows it out perfectly to get the right tuning, and then he makes sure that these holes are perfect sized and distance from each
Incredible.
other. Yeah.
I
That's
gotta ask now though, real quick. Did he tune it to 432 because of the
Yeah.
the 440? What are we gonna call that conspiracy? Like
Yeah.
440?
So for him, he was saying on
good
his
catch, Julius.
it was is for the it has a more healing type of the frequencies, and and yeah, it's just kind of one of those things that I don't know how much I subscribe to it. I think that I do notice the difference in the tuning, and to me, I do enjoy the warmer sound of the lower tuning. But yeah, there's all kinds of things as far as the conspiracy, as far as like, you know,
Hey,
Good point.
I
right.
just want to add to that too. Like, so I always tuned to 432 as well, and it drives the guys in my bands nuts because when you play bass, it's really kind of, if you don't have like, if you're playing like a shorter scale bass or something, like the low tension really makes it suck. Like, so the
Yeah.
guys sometimes they give me shit like, "Yo, man," but it's like I don't. I just think it. I think it does sound better. It sounds
It does.
thicker and like warmer. Like I don't know.
You're
It's
right, though. You're right.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be part of the conspiracy thing too. It could be the devil's in that 440. But I don't know.
Right.
We have a question from my dog Minton. He wants to know what's the attachment bit at the top of the flute.
Oh yeah, so this is right here is called my the bear claw, and really what it is the for a Native American flute, it doesn't function without this. Actually, it creates a little air chamber between one hole from the top, and then it enters right here to kind of cut the air, just like a recorder or something like that.
Yeah,
And so
understood.
this is the thing that keeps the air chamber from here to here, and I call it bear claw.
So you take that bear claw off, and the recorder or the flute doesn't work.
Right.
All I'm saying is, when I was a kid, I wanted to play the flute. True story. My dad gave me shit. He's like, "I'm not letting you play the flute." I'm like, "Man, that's bullshit." But I'll bet you if I told him it had a bear claw on it, he would have let me play it.
There you
No
go.
doubt. That's a true story. So I wish I would have knew this
100%.
shit then, man. I would have probably been able to. But anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
100%.
All right, AttaBotty, the microphone's all yours, my friend.
Alrighty. Awesome. I'm gonna put some effects on. Okay. Put that a little higher.
Oh, it muted. It muted. Can't hear it. Nope. We were able to hear, and then it cut. Your mic is muted. Unmute your mic. There we
How
go.
about now?
Now we could hear you. I'm
Okay.
not sure what happened. It just kind of cut out again, but that's all right.
All right. All right. Let's see if it'll work this time.
Wow.
that
Wow.
sounds so fucking badass.
Freaking cool, dude. All right, where'd you learn how to play that thing? Who taught you? How did it come about?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so this actually I taught myself how to play this one. I'm a woodwind instrumentalist, so I played first saxophone, but then I went from saxophone to clarinet, then from clarinet to concert flute. And in concert flute, I really fell in love with it because like there's like so many different kinds of flute. I had played have a tin whistle, a Bon Surrey, Irish whistle, you know, and so almost every culture around the world has their own version of a flute, and it just was like kind of turned into an obsession. But I landed on the Native American flute because it was just one of the most beautiful sounds I, ever heard. And so when I was able to get my hands on it and play it, thankfully it had a lot of the same fingerings as a lot of the other woodwind instruments. And so it's kind of like, guitar and bass, they're similar, but they're different. But, you can kind of translate one to the other. Same thing with this. And so, yeah, I just kind of went ham with it and just fell in love with it, especially when you first play the Native American flute and the vibration comes from you. It's addicting. Yeah.
It sounds
Very
so cool.
man.
And
Thank you.
It's kind of like, I mean, to me, like you're like a movie, a guy who's making a movie. Like you're, it's like, I don't know, like you're a great guy to know. Like,
Oh,
hey,
thank
you know
you.
what? We need audio beds for this music. Let's hit up AttaBotty. And okay, this scene here is gonna bust out the Indian flute. He's got his VSTs over here for any other like shit that space age futuristic shit. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think like you definitely got lots of tools to diversify your income stream with music if you ever want to go that route. And then in the meantime, you're making your own movies too, which is cool. Your animations and stuff. That's pretty cool.
You know what I think would be really cool, because I see on the back of you're a great guitar player. I wonder if both you guys can improvise a little something. If obviously J6, if you're up for it, I think that would be cool and something that we can try here. Something that would be exclusive and never done before on Jus Riffin. Yeah,
Cool.
I would do it, and I will do it. But keep in mind, we might have the cancellation because of
true to that.
Right.
impression. But I mean, I'm willing
Let's
to
try it. Let's try it, everybody. Who in the audience wants to hear AttaBotty and Cookie Rabinowitz jam in two separate places?
I don't know.
Two
if I'm
separate,
plugged in.
two
Oh,
separate
hold on.
cities, two separate worlds.
Let me see
Oh
what
my
I
God, the crowd's going crazy. They're all clapping. They all want it. They're here for it. They're here for it. What else, guys?
All right, I don't have
Oh,
my
some
acoustic with
people
me.
some people said that they'll pay. My dog Minton said he's gonna pay.
Oh shit!
Awesome.
Let me know if this is working. Oh, we're gonna do guitars now. So I thought
Oh, you want me to get back on the flute?
Yo, Nick's
either or, whatever you want to do, whatever you
Let's
want to
do
do.
flute, yeah.
I like, but
dueling
can you hear
guitars.
something?
I think maybe
All
the
right.
flute would be a little easier to pull off since we could be a little more loose with the timing.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, this is
Make it
gonna
a
be
little louder
fun.
too, sorry.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's watching. This is Just Riffin, and we're just riffing. Is really what's happening tonight. We have AttaBotty on the show. So excited to have him here. We didn't plan this out. We had no idea this was going to happen, and I'm excited. So we got Cookie
Nice.
Rabinowitz and AttaBotty about to do a 1-2 hot step. I don't know what you want to call it, but like they're going to about to get into it right now.
Awesome.
All right, I'm going to
It's
let you guys
definitely
do your
not a
thing.
1-2 hot step. I know that much.
It's a
But
3-4. It's a
this
3-4
was
hot step.
literally without a case in the back of my car right before I pull up here, so it's a little out of tune. So give me 1 second. That's close enough. So let's see. I'll try to play something soft because
I'm
if I
in
play it
F
soft,
minor.
F minor. Okay, let's see if my F minor is your F minor. Because like I said, I just played it a chunk. Is this like, let's see, F minor? We'll do like a. I'm a little out of tune. Sorry about
There you
that.
go.
Ada, your
How
mic
about now?
muted out. Oh my god! But it was really cool when you guys were doing it together. All right, let's try it one more time. I'm gonna
Yeah, that was
move
great.
myself. That's awesome. This is really cool.
Should I do the same riff or should I do
Yeah,
something
same riff. That was perfect.
different? Sorry, I forgot I was playing. I got it. Sorry,
Wow,
Awesome.
I'm
That was
clapping it
super
up for you
cool.
guys. Yeah, that was really cool. Improvisation at its finest, right there.
So
That's great.
Very fun.
Yes.
that was very fun. Sorry, guys, a little out of tune there, but
No, it was great.
No, you sounded great. You both sounded
432.
awesome. That's right. Yeah,
432.
432. You're going to be down in Miami. You said, is that going to be for Art Basel that you're going to be
Yes.
performing?
Yes,
Okay.
that's
Do you
great.
have the venue already? Do you know where you're going to be at, or
Actually,
not yet?
not quite. That's like
Okay.
the one thing right now. We're in the week of getting that secured.
Okay, when you know that where you're going to be at, I'd love for you to just come back on the show. Once once we have a guest on the show, you can just knock on the door and just come right in. That's it.
Awesome.
Actually, you don't even have to knock on the door. You can just walk right in. You have carte
Awesome.
blanche. That would be
Okay,
great. So
great.
you can come and talk about where you're going to be, venue wise, and all that good stuff. It's anytime you want to do that for sure.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so
100.
much.
That's right. So besides doing this, what do you have release wise coming up? What's next for you, AttaBotty?
Oh, yeah. So for me, next is we're going to be focusing on getting a lot of collaborations done. I kind of went a little bit ham this last year because I was going to a lot of Web3 events. It was kind of my first time last 2023 in Miami Basel, my first Web3 event, and just hooked up with a lot of great people. And since then, just been running, doing collaborations after one after another. So I have like a bit of a backlog that I'm trying to like clean out, but really exciting things for each one. It's like working with Losi was fantastic. That was one of the big ones. And so once those are all done, me and my wife are going to be super focused on getting the next track done for the EP called Spacewalking.
Okay.
And so with that one, it's going to be a continuance of Polar Reflections, but it's almost going to be like a prequel because each track leading after Polar Reflections kind of is going backwards, leading you through like my mental journey of what led me to Polar Reflections and that type of mentality. And so the one that comes next, the Spacewalking, is going to kind of go into my reflections of going on a lot of walks that I went through as I was dealing with a lot of the dreams and a lot of introspections that kind of led to Polar Reflections in the first place. And so that's going to be all animated. I'm going to be a cartoon. I'm going to be flying through the sky and all kinds of cool stuff with that one. And so, yeah, that's our big thing that we're leading up for. But up until then, I have a performance in Miami. I have collaborations that I'm going to be doing, a lot of drum and bass.
Okay.
So
All
people have
right.
been liking that. So going to have a couple of those to be releasing. So
So when you do the drum and bass, you're talking about releases or shows. I'm sorry, you're talking about you're releasing some like drum and bass.
yeah, collaborations.
Okay.
Yeah, I have one where that I'm kind of working with the NFT record shop with something with them that we've been planning for a while. And then a couple of my other musician friends, we've been working on stuff, but everything eventually led to let's do a drum and bass track. So people have been liking my drum and bass track, so it's fun. I enjoy them. So
Now, when you do the drum and bass tracks, so are you doing the drums and the bass, and the collaborations come from somebody will bring someone
oh,
else to it, or
a lot of it depends on what the artist that I'm working with can do. I kind of just work with whatever. So a lot of vocalists were wanting to work with me lately, so I just use the vocals and do something cool with those. I have done one with that's one that I'm working on right now with Grip Beat. He's an awesome producer, and he does mostly EDM. He's from Switzerland. And yeah, super badass. So yeah, me and him, it was like he did a lot of the basses and a lot of the drum and bass, like the drums, and I put a lot of the other parts behind it. So that one was a cool collaboration.
I think that's great that you're working with these people, different artists, and making those collaborations happen. It's hard sometimes, I think, when you get stuck in the studio and then your music just doesn't get released, you don't put it out there because you're too stuck on critiquing it over and over and over
Right.
again, as all artists do. You're your worst critic. But how do you manage to get the music out? Do you feel like the collaborations have been better for you that way, opposed to you just getting your own music out there just when it's just solely you, or maybe you and your wife? Do you feel like those collaborations have pushed you further,
Oh,
or made you do more?
I really enjoy it. I feel like anytime you're collaborating with somebody, you have to get used to someone else's workflow or just whatever they have to bring to the table. And so, it's something I've always had like a thing with. Because before I was into Web3, I was doing a lot of content creation and I would be doing a lot of remixes of like, memes and different things like that.
All
So there
right.
would be someone would put up a cat sound and then I would make a song out of the cat sound and everything and make it sing and everything. And, so I always have this mentality of like, whatever I'm given to work with, I try to do it. And if it's like hard for me, I'll turn it into a challenge. But I always enjoy it because of that, because I'm always learning something hardcore anytime I'm pushed like that. Whether it's a different genre or somebody wants a different type of vocal mixing that I'm not used to doing, I'll push myself to learn that so I can accommodate and get that sound that they're used to. and then work it into my own sound too. So I really enjoy that. Although I wouldn't say that it makes me any bit faster, because because you're sending things back and forth between people, and so the time it takes you to get their either feedback or any adjustments that we're doing, it might take us a bit longer because of that. Because I used to be a pretty hardcore perfectionist. I have a small, it's not a big one, but I have a small diagnosis of OCD. So, like, perfectionism is kind of in my blood. But I had somewhere kind of, I don't know, within the last like 7, 8 years where I don't know really what happened, but I just end up just being able to finish things just boom, 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 to the point where it's like, I know what will get it finished, and it's not so much that I'm just so focused on the details. It's like I just need this to get done, and once that's done, we can just release it. And
That's
so
great.
ever since I've had that mentality, things have just been doom doom
Yeah. I think a lot of people get
a lot
stuck.
easier for me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get stuck doing that, because of the OCD and being a perfectionist. I think that's great that you're able to get it out. You know what I mean? And
Right.
not be stuck with it. That's 100% for sure. I would love to
Mhm.
hear you guys collab. I would love to hear you guys trading stuff back and forth, Cookie and AttaBotty, and I'll get on the mic. I got bars, so that
Oh
would be
yeah,
very cool. Yeah, maybe we do like a whole collab, us three. That would
for
be very
sure.
fresh.
That'd be
Cool
super
stuff.
cool.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
it's funny, but you're saying that. I think that'd be awesome. Yeah, I'm totally down for that, of course. But all the different I've looked at all the different projects you've been working on, and then also the different releases, and it made me want to. And then it's also funny. It makes me chuckle a little bit. You saying how, like, you OCD and you used to be a perfectionist, but then, like, when we were just watching this Polar Reflections, like if that's just letting something out, oh, I'll just put it out anyway. That's pretty.
Hmm.
It's pretty meticulous. So that's awesome that you can work in that great detail and still work fast. That's incredible,
Thank you.
so that's really cool. And I definitely salute you for that. Um, as far as how you're putting stuff out there, I wanted to ask you a second about that. I know we're coming to the end of the show too, but do you feel as an artist, because you're definitely prolific, you're making a lot of work, you're making a lot, working with different artists, you're working on your own music, and you're definitely turning around a lot of work. Like, you have a quick turnover, and do you and you're using different platforms. What do you feel about not only blockchain related stuff, but like the Patreons, the Bandcamps, the Spotify, the
Hmm.
SoundClouds? Like, do you feel as a strategy, like, hey, I make this shit, I want to make it available, I'm going to put it on all these platforms or do you have a method to that, or do you just make the music and just say, hey, let's just try everything, whatever, kind of put it out there?
Oh yeah, no, the big thing that I have kind of planned is that I really want to build up this sense of value that comes with Web3. I feel like it's a perfect opportunity to do that, and so my plan's a little bit longer, but I feel like it's going to like really pay off and build on itself. I want everything to come from the Web3 and to branch out from there, where everything is more exclusive. Like, you get exclusive first access, you have the ability to actually collect the work, and then once the work has been in circulation, then I will release it. And it's also something I want to do kind of hand in hand with my live performances. So as I build more of a name for myself and I have more of a larger audience, then I'll focus more on wider distribution. But for right now, I'm focusing on my tight knit community and the people that are supporting me, and kind of like really catering to that and what I can do, and just kind of biting off what I can chew. And then as that gets solidified and I have more of these live performances that can continues like grow off itself and validate the music and also grow my audience, then then my plan is to go push more for the Spotify and the more traditional route once I have that audience.
I like that. I'm on board with that myself too. I kind of had to backpedal a little bit to get on that page, because I was on Spotify and all that stuff. But I really like that, and it's some people like comment and say, hey, but the exposure, like Spotify and this and that and the other thing. And if nobody knows who you are, but I don't think there's anything wrong with nobody knowing who you are. Like if 10 people know who you are, but they really are feeling what you're doing, then that's
Right.
way better than 10,000 to me, at least,
Right.
because somebody click and like on something 99% of the time doesn't even mean that they looked or listened at it. And then
Right.
somebody listening to you on Spotify just from a generated playlist, that 99.9% of the time, even if they dig you, you're like background music, the way you're presented. You're not presented like you're presenting fine art with this animation and all this stuff. Like there's no mistake. And if somebody takes the time to consume that, they know what it is. If somebody just hears that track, that same track, that polar reflection playing in a mix of like this playlist from Spotify, it might just get swept under the rug and they might not really feel it the way it was meant to be felt. But
Yeah.
so anyway, so I don't know. I really like that plan, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be
Thank
yours.
you.
I'm gonna be one of your supporters too, or what. I don't like to call it
Oh,
supporters because it's a mutual thing. Like listeners
yeah.
and creators support each other.
Hmm.
Like you create things that make people feel something, and that's support. So
Right.
I don't even want to say supporter. I'm gonna be, but I don't want to use the word fan either. I'm not down with that.
I feel you there, 100%. No, it's because it really is, and I like that. I like building that tight knit like relationship with people, and I feel like, back to what I was saying about like biting off what you could chew is like chew. If I have a hard time with like 10 people or 100 people, then I'm gonna have a really hard time with like, however much. So I'd much rather get the practice and also have like the the communal support, the just there's so many things. It's like I feel like it builds a ramp, where it's like one thing builds off of the next, and where I feel like along with getting the practice, I will be able to um, kind of that slow grow, and like you're saying, having just 10 people, and especially if they're you real big supporters of you type of thing and can keep what you're doing going, it leads into the next thing. And it's almost like I feel like if I were to go too fast and try to build a large audience and go that route, that I kind of would be building on like credit, you know what I'm saying? And not so much on, a lot of, what would you say, like a large repertoire of either reasons to support what I'm doing or get behind what I'm doing, and also, a large backing of like that I'm continuously doing this. I would be done it for 10 people, I'll do it for 10,000 people type of thing. So I like that. It's good for me. It's good for my body. But it's all kind of growing like that, trying to just have one thing lead into the next.
Yeah. I got a couple questions, and I want to bring up my dog Mitten. We brought him up here on stage. So usually, what we'll do is we'll have some people come up and ask questions to our guests. I want to know, one is, what's your favorite instrument to play?
Oh, thank you. My favorite instrument to play is probably guitar. Yeah, yeah, I like
You
guitar a
gravitate.
lot. Yeah,
Okay.
acoustic guitar is one of those sounds that just calms me down, and then probably right after that's the flute.
Right on. And what's the meaning behind your name, AttaBotty?
Oh, so out of body comes from the experiences that led me to have the mindset that I have today. When I was going through my worst bouts with lupus, I was really depressed, and I had a lot of different things going on. I even doubt, it was like so weird because you were going through the pain, but you would constantly try to convince yourself that you were fine, but you can't even get out of bed. And it was just like, it messes with your mind a lot. And I had a lot of these experiences where, especially big time dreams, that would, could only be explained as out of body experiences, where I would leave my body and I would experience all kinds of mystical and mythological things that were very deep that caused me to look into different spiritualities and theologies. And I really attribute that to my mindset and me coming out of that dark pit and to making my life, making strides to making my life better. And so I kind of wanted to pay homage to those experiences with my artistry and with my artist name, and have it all around me, out of body.
That's right, dude. I love it, man. I think it's great. I'm so happy that you took the time to set this up with us. We schedule our shows in advance, but glad that it worked out. We're here. We met you on the day that we had Losi on the show, and that was great to have you there as well. I think the story that you guys were telling, back and forth with each other, and the experience that you guys had, uh, led us to you, and then this is why you're here today with us. So we wanted
Oh
to say
yeah.
thank you also, for taking the time, really, and coming on the Just Riffin show and hanging out with us.
Oh, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. This has been a blast. Love it.
Absolutely, so much fun. Okay, I'm gonna pass the mic to my dog Mint and let him ask his question, and I'm gonna let J6 close it out.
Hell yeah,
Hang tight. Let's bring him to the stage.
for sure.
I got you, my dog Minton. Where are you?
Hey,
Oh, hold on a second. Hang
can
on,
you hear
buddy.
me?
Yeah, hang on
Yeah.
a second. There we go. Now I got you in there.
Oh,
What's
uh,
up?
yeah,
Well,
great to hear all about everything you've been saying.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
really fascinating, amazing music. I love the mix of the music and the animation. I
I
had a couple of
appreciate that.
questions.
Hmm.
One was, and you sort of touched on it a little bit about with the animation. Obviously, because it's designed as an NFT, it's square. But I wondered if you've got sort of versions of that or plans for versions of that are more widescreen or vertical for phones, uh, or and you also talked a little bit about physical installations and how that might vary outside of just the square format that you've got at the minute.
Yeah, no, that one, the square idea came from, a kind of hard mix between the two. We were thinking if we went widescreen, um, it would be not as accessible for people who were vertical, and then we thought vice versa. We thought having a square would be the nice in between. I feel like in hindsight now, I would probably want it more to have been to be in widescreen. Um, it's just, kind of one of those things that you look back on later and go, okay, especially for presentation wise, because if anything, a square doesn't fit either on vertical or horizontal. There's always going to be black bars on it.
It's
But
kind
if
of
it's
it's
a
kind of
line,
like
right?
a kind of like a 12-inch,
Yeah, exactly.
album
So
cover
we,
as well. So
uh-huh. But for live performance, we're actually going to redo the piece for that for a live venue, and so it'll wrap around the entire the performance area. So
wow.
yeah, very excited about that.
Was that when I was at university many years ago? There was a thing called that we used called ambisonics, which is sort of 360
Hmm.
um, uh, audio, kind of like Dolby but 360, and you have a
Yeah.
ring of speakers around, and the DJs had a joystick that could literally move stuff around. I
Wow,
think it could be a load
that's
of.
cool.
I think a lot of it's open source as well, but there might be some cool stuff with that. The other thing I just wanted to ask very quickly.
Hmm.
Um, you aware of Teenage Engineering and their hardware stuff? They have quite a lot of cool, quite expensive consumer hardware that sort of like they have a dictaphone, basically a phone, an audio recorder that you can spin. You
Hmm.
can't quite tell what you're pointing at, Hefner, but
I'm, I'm
oh,
pointing at
yeah,
Jason.
right there. You go. Sorry, I had my
I'm
notes of what questions to ask that was covering your bit of the screen, Cookie.
trying to figure out what I'm doing.
I was like, "What are you pointing at?" But they just put out this
That's great.
medieval one that's like that they've completely crafted, and they've
Mm.
had commissioned 8-segment LCD LED like displays that are in a medieval font kind of thing. Just and you've got like hurdy-gurdies and all of this kind of stuff. It's completely crazy, but it's basically based around drones and drumming rhythms. But it just felt like a thing
Oh,
that you might
cool.
enjoy playing with.
Oh yeah, that sounds a lot of fun for sure. Thank you for telling me about that. Yeah. No, those they're super fun. Yeah, no, that sounds super
Yeah.
cool.
But yeah, lovely to hear all about your stuff. I loved it. I love the mix of the animation and the
Oh,
the
thank you so
audio.
much.
And I've been checking out your website where you've been talking, and I'm definitely looking into it more. So thank you very much.
Oh, I appreciate you so much. It was great meeting you. My dog Minton. Hell yeah, man.
That's right. All right, Minton, I'm going to drop you from the stage. You can hang
Yeah.
out, still hang out here is fine. I'm just going to drop you down. Thank you so much for being on the Jus Riffin show. He's part of our ecosystem of Rug Radio family, and he is also part of the Jus Riffin show. He's
Oh, awesome.
always with us. So always thank you, my dog Minton. You know we love you, man. So thank you again for always supporting and being here with us and being a part of the show. Quite frankly, just being a part of the Jus Riffin show. So
We need
thank
him to
you.
bring his bass. We need him to bring his bass next time because we would have that bass, the guitar, and the flute,
Yeah,
and then
that's
I'm
right.
telling you, then it's a record at that.
There you go.
Oh my God, I dropped you by accident. I didn't mean to do that. Now I'm going to give you the whole stage.
Oh, is it me? Oh,
I dropped you by accident.
no, it's okay. I drop myself sometimes. I just but anyway, no, but yeah, what a great show. Thank you so much, AttaBotty. And you know, when you first, I wasn't familiar with you or your stuff until the Losi episode, and as soon as you came up and started talking, I was like, this is a cool dude. I want to check out his music because
Yeah.
I already
Thank
know it's
you.
going to be something I like just with even hearing it. Cause I don't know, like maybe that's just me, or maybe it's just the way it works. Like, but if I'm listening to a person speak, an artist speak, and I vibe with their personality and the way they talk, I always know that when I listen to their music, I'm gonna dig it. It's never
Oh,
failed
that's
me
cool.
once.
That's
That's
right.
awesome.
But I will say this too. Sometimes when somebody's an asshole, I still like their music. But sometimes, but if they're a cool dude and like there's some kind of you know what I'm
Good
saying?
vibe.
There's good vibe, like I always do. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just a weirdo hippie. Who
Oh,
knows?
that's
Nah,
great to
bro.
hear.
But you are a weirdo hippie anyway. You
Super
are
awesome. I appreciate that.
wearing your Birkenstocks in the house.
Yeah.
You don't want to put his foot up though. He's probably wearing them. For real. That's awesome, man. I'm excited. He's Julius J6 Cookie is right. Like, we didn't know about you beforehand, and it's just a pleasure to know that you make awesome music and that you were such a cool dude that first time on the show with us. And
I
he's
appreciate
right,
that.
man. If you got soul, we talk about it all the time because there's a lot of musicians that are amazing, virtuosos and blah, 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 and, can play the notes off anything, off the roof, but they got no soul. It just sounds the same. Like, it's like just like taught, and it's like they only hard to explain it, but yeah,
Right?
yeah, you got a lot of soul, man. You got so much soul you don't even need no music.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what's up. I appreciate that. Hey,
That's right.
thank
All
you
right,
guys
so
so
we're
much
gonna
for having me on.
absolutely thank you. So I'm gonna let you have the last word, AttaBotty. Anything that you want to say to everybody here? Any plugs that you want to plug besides what you did? I mean, if you want to repeat, that's fine. Whatever you would like
Oh,
to do,
yeah.
I'm gonna give the mic to you. And once again, thank you for being part of the Jus Riffin show.
Awesome. No, thank you
Oh,
so
real
much.
quick, let's get a
Mhm.
drop. Let's get a drop. Can we get a drop from you? Like for Jus Riffin. Hey, this is AttaBotty. Blah 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 blah. Jus Riffin. Something to this
Okay.
effect.
All
All right,
right.
whenever you're ready, go for it.
What's everyone? Oh, excuse me. What's up, everyone?
Hey.
This is AttaBotty. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, whenever you're ready. I
Okay.
interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. What's up, everyone? This is AttaBotty with the Jus Riffin Show. Happy to be here with y'all. Let's get going.
Word up. All right, do one more time so we have a security deposit from you.
What's up, everyone? This is AttaBotty with the Jus Riffin Show. Love to be here. It's been an awesome time. Let's freaking go.
Hell yeah. Okay, we got that one.
Awesome.
All right, great. Thank you so much again. We greatly appreciate it. We'll see you in Twitter. Hopefully we're definitely going to see you in Miami because we'll be at Art Basel as well.
Mhm.
And love to have a conversation with you there live at Art Basel. We can
Oh,
record it.
hell yeah. That would be
Replay it. Let's
sick.
go.
For
Yes.
sure. Thank you guys
All right.
again.
And
for
don't forget,
having
we
me.
got a collab. Don't forget.
Yeah, 100%. We got a collab. Freaking love the vibes as well here. This has been great. Everything just was just like a nice talk. It just felt like we were just chilling homies. Yeah, loved it. And so anytime you guys, yeah, need some music, need some flutes, let me know. Love to do that. And just wanted to say quick shout out to both of you for having me on. And also to Losi for introducing us. She's freaking badass. What's going on with me and her right now, we had that track Stay Bass, but now we're doing a remix competition with that. So we're giving out the stems, and the person who wins that's going to get like cash prizes, even some soundware. And we're
Interesting.
coming out, yeah, a couple other sponsors to see what we can do to reward participants to make the prize pool even better. But yeah, that's going to be over September 22nd. You could check out my pinned tweet for that if you're interested. But other than that, just so happy to be here and freaking loving life. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, that's right. I want to thank everybody also that has tuned in on YouTube, Instagram, and X video. We're not doing Spaces audio anymore. We're just going to stick strictly to the video. I think it's a better format for us. Plus, we like to see our guests, and it makes it for a better show all around. And I think for the people that are watching, it makes it better for you. So you can see what's going on. You can put the voices to the faces, faces to the voices. And this is who we are. We're being real people. And we do it live every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This has been Jus Riffin. Thank you, AttaBotty. Thank you, Julius. Thank you, J6, Cookie Rabinowitz in the building. Thank you, everybody else, for being here and hanging out with us. We'll see you soon.
Jus Riffin. Tuesday night, 8:30 EST. Know where we be. Jus Riffin. Special guest and tech and talk. A musicology. Jus Riffin. Coming to you live at the same time. Here every week. Jus Riffin. Jump in the room. Let's chop it up. It really ain't that deep. Jus Riffin.